if you are trying to conceive or you want to anytime in the future, definitely reconsider supplementing testosterone. That is going to be the fastest way to get your fertility shut down. What's happening right now is there's an epidemic of low testosterone. There are so many men with low testosterone levels. And unfortunately, they're going to conventional medicine and the doctor is saying, oh, take testosterone shots. That's going to fix your testosterone level, which is absolutely true. What they're not being told is if you take testosterone shots, you have a really good birth control pill for men, right? Like testosterone, taking exogenous testosterone from outside of your body is going to give the feedback loop back to the brain to shut down production of sperm. So we're essentially creating fertility issues, and often testosterone in men, it will take several years to undo the damage of that. It's not a quick fix.
Wow. So if they're low and they're getting this supplemental testosterone, it'll raise blood levels. Presumably it'll raise what the body's using that for, all the different functions metabolically. But you're saying it, but because it's exogenous, the body can produce less sperm, even though the blood levels are going to test higher.
Yeah, because the testosterone is basically a feedback loop to the brain to shut off the hormone that causes sperm production. So the testosterone is a step in the process of making sperm. So if your body now has testosterone, because it didn't make it itself, we're pumping it into the body with injections, that testosterone is the negative feedback loop to the brain to say, hey, we don't need that other hormone to make sperm. Make sense? So we basically are like, if we want to talk about a male birth control, like we have it, male birth control would be testosterone. Give a guy testosterone for even 6 months in high enough doses, he will not have any sperm left.
No kidding. even with the high, again, high blood levels and presumably the effects that higher testosterone yields in a male body from, I'm about to say supplementation. I don't know what the right word for it is, but the injections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So obviously,
exactly.
So the body's treating it differently than endogenously.
Well, even endogenously, the job of testosterone is to feedback loop to the brain until it don't need to make any more sperm. We've got enough testosterone. Thank you. We're good. So regardless of endogenous or exogenous, either way, the signal is the same. The problem
just
is...
bear with me here. I'm trailing behind, because to me, that sounds like if you have high testosterone, then you could not have sperm, even if it's all
absolutely
natural.
Yep.
So do you want lower testosterone for higher sperm and higher fertility?
It's a Goldilocks hormone. So we want it within our like optimal range is 500 to 700 in the US. So that's where we want it. For a guy that I just saw a guy whose testosterone was like 934. So I asked him, I'm like, have you ever supplemented testosterone? Because that's going to lead to major things for us to deal with, right? Like, so I need to know that up front. And he was like, nope, never. So with that, I was like, okay, great. We're good. But if he had supplemented testosterone, then we would have really the fixing of these feedback loops and the hormones, FSH and LH from the brain. Those would need to be addressed if he had supplemented or supplement or injection. There are some supplements that you can take, like DHEA, will boost testosterone. There's herbs that people claim will like boost testosterone. We really want to think about testosterone as like, we want it within this optimal range. And if the body has made extra on its own, we should definitely check the sperm, but it may be okay. Like that may be that person's need and normal response. When it's out of range and it's exogenous, it's absolutely always a problem.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm with you now. Okay. How does it compare to in terms of impacting fertility?
If you are trying to conceive or you want to anytime in the future, not even near future, anytime in the future, you should definitely reconsider supplementing testosterone. That is going to be the fastest way to get your fertility shut down. And I'm not saying it's permanent, like it's sometimes we can reverse it, but it's a long journey to reversing that. So do not, like whatever you do, don't supplement testosterone, right? Like don't take these like hyped, like muscle boosting things. Like there was a product, which I cannot remember the name of, that was basically like a muscle gain protein powder-esque thing that was claiming to boost testosterone levels, and it was and it was found to have actual testosterone in it, not on the label. So you
Buyer
have to
beware.
be hyper aware that if fertility is important to you, and it may not be in your 20s, right? Like you could care less in your 20s whether or not you're going to have a child. But unfortunately, like this needs to be a conversation that young men are hearing very early in their lives before they get to the point of I'm 13, 14, 15 in high school wanting to bulk up because I want to look good and I want to get all the female attention and whatever, like all the things that we're thinking about as teenagers that can have an impact that is far beyond where we're thinking in that moment. So really like like I have a child who's 5. He's, like a general 5-year-old, but I know to be hyper aware and like, oh, you want to take a supplement? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about which one. Let's make sure it's the right, like, let's make a good choice so that who knows what you want to do in the future, but we want to leave that option open. So I would say like no testosterone ever, ever, ever. If your testosterone is low, you want to get support that you can actually get some help with boosting that testosterone and getting your body to make the testosterone in and of itself. The second piece is testosterone converts to estrogen. So the instant these guys stop taking the testosterone, it converts to estrogen, and that's how they end up with man boobs. Sorry, that's just the reality. So
There's a lot of disclosure missing from the marketing of some of these products, I'm realizing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, unless you're in it and you really understand all of the physiology, it's kind of scary. And like, as a hormone specialist, I'm a reverent of hormones. I'm like, these hormones are a complicated symphony. And when we start going in and upregulating one and downregulating another, we have to be really mindful that we're going to screw some things up if we're not careful with what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, I love that. That's been one of the biggest things on my health journey is to realize like how much of our mentality is, oh, I don't like this number or this symptom. What's the pill that will solve it? And it seems fast and convenient, but it's not. It's a road that leads to nowhere. And asking these deeper questions that you're posing, like, well, why is that happening, and what is the underlying source? And I find you really have to go 2, 3, 4 layers deeper, because even 2 layers deep, you can sometimes do the same thing. Like, okay, let's just manage this number on a lab test or manage this symptom. But if you really get down to it, then it's just so life changing. It was life changing for me. And then people, they get their health back just at like a deep level. And when you feel that, I mean, it's so different than a pill that's propping you up. And then, people get really confident because they can walk through life knowing they have a lot more say in their health than they ever realized, and confident that they know what to do to build it up. And so, yeah, I really resonate with your approach.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you must have a lot of surprised looks and conversations with patients in your office.
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. They're like, wait, what? No, why didn't my doctor tell me? Like, I don't know why your doctor didn't tell you. They know they should be having these conversations, but there are testosterone clinics down the street from me that are pumping guys full of testosterone that really shouldn't be getting testosterone, right? So I can go on about that for hours, but really, like, get educated, like really educated, right? And that's why podcasts like this are so important.